Good morning, my fellow teachers and students. I'm here in front of you to report about infancy and toddlerhood development stages. Infant and toddler development, the physical, emotional, behavioral, and mental growth of children from ages 0 to 36 months. They may also be able to identify, abuse, or neglected children who exhibit abnormal development. Infancy or toddlerhood is when children begin to develop a sense of what the world around them is like and start to form attachments with caregivers. Infant or toddlerhood development, inilarawan nito ang tungkol sa isang sanggol batay sa kanilang physical na itsura, emosyonal, at paglaki ng pag-isip ng isang bata mula 0 hanggang 36 na buwan. At tinutukoy din dito sa infant or toddlerhood na ang mga bata ay pinabayaan base sa kanilang itsura, which is abnormality ng isang sanggol. At ang isang sanggol start to develop at magkaroon ng kamalayan sa mundong ito. 5 stages of child development. The 5 stages of children development include the newborn, infant, toddler, preschool, and school age stages. Children undergo various changes in terms of physical speech, intellectual, and cognitive development gradually until adolescence. Specific changes occur at specific ages of life, known as development milestone. These changes can help you track whether your child is developing at the correct pace. Failure to reach this milestone may indicate developmental disorders or genetic conditions. There are 5 stages of a child development, such as newborn, infant, toddler, preschool, and the last one is school age stages. Dito sa stage na ito, ang bata ay magkaroon ng iba't ibang pagbabago sa kanilang sarili hanggang sila ay nagkakaedad na. Newborn. During the first 2 months of life, newborns react automatically to external stimuli. Sa 2 buwan, ang isang sanggol ay magsimula na siyang lumalabas and it can move their head from side to side and start to make a sound and try to indicate a need. By the 3rd month of life, newborns start to smile at people. The second is the infant. A lot of new abilities develop quickly by the time a child turns 1 year old. Sa infant, kapag ang isang bata ay mag-isang taong gulang na ito ay magkaroon ng mabilis na pagdevelop.
Toddler. When children are between 1 and 3 years of age, they can stand alone, learn to walk without help, begin to run, and climb stairs with short steps. Toddler. Sa pagitan ng 1 and 3 years old, dito na magsimula pagkatuto ng isang bata gaya na lamang ang paglakad, tumayo, tumakbo, at umakyat. Preschool. Between 3 and 5 years of age, children's motor skills became refined. Children can throw and catch a ball, escape and hop, learn to dress themselves and draw proper structures such as flower. Kapag ang isang bata ay nasa 3 at 5 taong gulang na ay marami ng pagbabago ang naganap sa kanilang sarili gaya na lamang ang paglukso, humugis ng isang bagay, gumuhit at iba pa. School age. School age is the age between 6 to 17 years old. During this age, children learn to become independent and form their own opinions. Dito sa school age, ang bata ay magkaroon ng kalayaan sa kanilang sarili at opinyon.
Physical development of infant and toddlerhood. Infants development physically from the top down, starting with their heads and neck. As infants and toddlerhood grow, their determinations to master movements, balance, and fine and gross motor skills remain strong. Rolling and crawling occur as infants develop skills in using large muscle group. Physical development of infant and toddlerhood, ang ibig sabihin nito ay mag-start na ang paglaki ng isang bata and to master their movement and balance at dito rin mag-start na ang bawat buto ng isang bata ay patuloy na lumalakas. These are examples of the physical development of infants or toddlerhood. 2 months. Holds head up with support, begins to push up when lying on tummy, makes motor movements with arms and legs. Kapag ang isang bata ay magdadalawang buwan pa lamang ay magsimula na silang gumalaw. 4 months. Holds head steady without support, pushes down on legs when feet are on a hard surface, rolls over from tummy to back, holds and shakes toy, swings, at dangling toys, bring hands to mouth, pushes up to elbows when lying on tummy. Kapag ang isang bata ay mag-4 na buwan pa lamang, it starts to make a smooth movements. 6 months. Rolls over both from stomach to back and from back to stomach. Begins to sit with supports weight on legs when standing and might bounce. Rocks back and forth, sometimes scrolls backward before moving forward. Kapag ang isang bata ay mag-anim na buwan pa lamang, it starts to make a movement together with their parents. 9 months. Crawls, sit without support, moves into sitting positions with support, stands, holding onto adult or furniture for support, pulls to stand. Kapag ang isang bata ay mag-siyam na buwan pa lamang, it starts to make a movement and balance their movements without parents. 1 year. Moves into sitting positions without support. Pulls up to stand and walks alone while holding onto furniture. Takes few steps without support for adult or furniture. Stand alone. Kapag mag-isang taon ng bata ay gumagawa na sila ng mga hakbang at unti-unting lumalakas ang kanilang mga buto. 18 months. Walks alone, runs, pulls toys while walking, helps under himself, drinks from a cup, eats with a spoon. 18 months ay maraming nang pagbabago ang naganap sa kanilang sarili. 2 years. Begins to run, climbs onto and down from furniture without support, walks up and down steps while holding on for support, throws ball overhand, draws or copies straight lines and circles, stands on tiptoes, kicks a ball. 2 years old, the child will develop and can do a lot of things. Cognitive development of infant and toddlerhood. Cognitive or brain development means the learning process of memory, language, thinking, and reasoning. Learning language is more than making sounds, or babble, or saying mama and dada. Cognitive development of infant and toddlerhood, it starts to develop their brain, memory, thinking skills, and to talk like mama or papa. 2 months. Pays attention to physics, begins to follow things with eyes and recognize people at a distance, begins to act bored, cries, fussy, if activity does not change. 2 months, a child starting to recognizing people from a distance. 6 months. Looks around at things nearby, brings things to mouth, shows curiosity about things and tries to get things that are out of reach. Begins to pass things from one hand to another. 6 months, a child start to make a curiosity or magkaroon na ng kamalayan sa kanilang sarili at sa kanilang paligid. 12 months, explore things in different ways, like shaking, banging, throwing, finds hiding things easily, looks at the right pictures or thing when it is named, copies gestures, starts to use things correctly, like drinks from a cup, brushes hair, bangs two things together, put things in a container, takes things out of a container, lets things go without help, pulls with index or pointer finger, follows simple directions like pick up the toy. In 12 months, a child starting to explore different things in their own way, as it starts to copy gestures from others. 18 months, knows what ordinary things are. For example, telephone, brush spoon, points to get the attentions of others, choose entries, and then a doll or stuffed animals by pretending to feed. Points one body part, scribbles on his own can follow one-step verbal commands without any gestures. For example, sits when you see sit down. In 18 months, a child starting to learn other things scribbles on his or her own. 24 months. Find things even when hiding under two or three covers. Begins to sort shapes and colors. Complete sentences and rhymes in familiar books. Play simple make-believe games. Builds towers of four or more blocks. Might use one hand more than the other. Follows two steps directions like pick up your shoes and put them in the closet. In 24 months, a child begins to make a different things and can do whatever he or she wants. And 36 months, can work toys with buttons, levers, and moving parts. Plays make believe with dolls, animals, and people. Does puzzles with 3 or 4 pieces. Understand what two means. Copies a circle with a pencil or crayon. Turns book pages one at a time. Builds towers of more than 6 blocks. Screws and unscrews jar lids or turns the door handles. In 36 months, a child can understanding many things and their brain memory and thinking well developed. Socio-emotional development of infants and toddlers. Social developments for infants and toddlers unfolds in an interpersonal context, namely that of positive ongoing relationships with familiar, nurturing adults. Young children are particularly attuned to social and emotional stimulation. In 6 months, knows familiar faces and begins to know if someone is a stranger. Likes to play with others, especially parents. Responds to other people's emotions and often seems happy, like to look at self in mirror. In 12 months, is shy or nervous with strangers, cries when mom or dad leaves, has favorite things and people, shows fair in some situations, hands you back when he or she wants to hear a story, repeats sounds and actions to get attentions, put out arm or leg to help with raising, plays games such as pick a bow and pat a cake. 18 months. Likes to hand things to others as play. May have temper tantrums. May be afraid of strangers. Shows affections to familiar people. Plays simple pretend, such as feeding a doll. May cling to caregivers in new situations. Points to show others something is interesting. Explores alone but with apparently spy.
24 months. Copies others, especially adults and older children, gets excited when with other children, shows more and more independence, shows defiant behavior, doing what she or he has been told not to do, plays mainly beside other children, but is beginning to include other child, such as in chase games. 36 months. Copies adults and friends, shows affections for others without prompting, takes turns in games, shows concern for a crying friend, understand the idea of mine and his or hers, shows a wide range of emotions, separates easily from mom and dad, may gets upset with major changes in routine, dresses and undresses self. Thank you for listening.